have a question, but I'm afraid to ask it because I don't want to be labeled as a racist.
If you ever have to give such a prefix or a disclaimer before saying something, then you probably shouldn't say whatever you wanted to say. Just saying.
So,
I've gotten backlash before online and it's horrible. But here we go! I've been an ear doctor for 10 years now, and a significant amount of my African American patients, while I'm doing a history and physical to understand better what's going on with their problem today, they have someone on the phone. They're either just talking on the phone or they're on FaceTime, but a large percentage of my African American patients have someone that's there in the room even though they're not there in the room. Why is that?
this video is so disingenuous. The question is disingenuous. The doctor himself is disingenuous, because why is he asking the internet this question when he could have asked the black patients that he encountered who acted this way this question, so they can tell him why they always are on the phone with someone else when they are on a doctor's appointment with him, because they are in the best position to answer this question. But he rather threw this question to random people on social media instead. By the way, this video is no longer available on his page. He took it down because he got dragged for good reason, obviously. And the crazy part is that this man has been a doctor for 10 years. 10 years he has been a doctor, and in these 10 years, he could not get an answer to this question. But let's play devil's advocate here for a second and say he was being genuine when he asked this question. But somehow, a whole decade went by with him being a doctor and he just couldn't get an answer to this question of his. Let's say he genuinely just didn't know how to go about asking his black patients this question. But do you know who he could have asked? Google. And these are a few things he would have learned from Google. Medical trauma is a thing, and a lot of black people suffer from medical trauma, especially in the United States of America. Black people in America especially have a distrust for white doctors, and that is because historically white doctors have done some very shady things to black people. Using the word shady itself is like, I feel like that's it's too light-hearted of a word to use in this particular situation, because the things they did to African American people was beyond shady. It was evil, it was wicked, it was sinister, it was heinous, it was demonic, it was diabolical. Just altogether out of this world inhumane, the things they did to African American people. They have the historical behavior of using black people for weird experiments. One of these experiments, for example, is the Tuskegee experiments that happened between 1932 to 1970s. This experiment spanned for. During this experiment, they got about a couple of hundreds of black men, and they injected them with syphilis. Now, during this experiment, they did not even get consent from these men. These men did not know what these people were doing. They injected them with this stuff, syphilis, and they did not even treat them. They basically injected these men with syphilis, and they were just watching to see how their bodies would react. They deliberately, intentionally injected these men, infected them with syphilis, a life-threatening sexually transmitted disease, so they can study this disease. Treated these men, human beings, like they were lab rats or something. Pondering on this right now as I'm editing this video, it's just making my blood boil, I swear. And a lot of these men died from this. Now, this is just an example to name a few of what happens in the United States of America now, particularly, right? And there is a spreadsheet of examples like this. And also, moving from their so-called experiment and research level that they were doing with black people's bodies, there is also the fact that when black people go to the hospital, they don't receive proper care, which have led to a good amount of black deaths. Black women in America are said to die more during childbirth in comparison to every other race, because they don't receive proper care during their pregnancy. They don't listen to Black women when they come in with their complaints about how they are feeling and the pains that they have. Black women will be talking about pain during their pregnancy or during labor, and they just don't pay them attention like that. And there is this belief as well in the US that Black people just don't feel pain like that. And this belief, I even read somewhere, was it a video I saw, that this belief was even taught in schools somehow, like somehow in a medical school they pass this information on. Also, from what I've gathered, there is this tendency of white doctors to lie about what they gave or did not give their patients. So what I mean is, there have been times where white doctors have given their Black patients certain medications, right? But one thing or another, they shouldn't have given this medication to the patients. When things starts to get like, for them and they are on the hot seat, they would lie that they did not give this medication to the patients. But then the Black patient is there like, I know you gave me this medication. You told me that this was what you were giving me. And then it's now, the doctor's word against the Black patient's word. And who would you believe?
History and physical to understand better what's going on with their problem today. They have someone on the phone.
Oh, I can answer this. It's because y'all will lie. Y'all will lie. Y'all will say, y'all will mistreat people. Y'all will prescribe things. Y'all will do things, procedures to people, and y'all will lie about it. The moment that they have a negative reaction to something, you will lie about it. And this is not about something that I've heard. This is something that has happened to me because, as I've stated before, I am a cancer survivor, which means I went through chemo and radiation. When I went through radiation in Memphis, Tennessee, at St. Francis Hospital, there was a woman, I don't remember her name, but she literally told me, on that day, we're going to attack this. We're going to attack this directly. We're going to be very aggressive towards this. And the day, literally that same day, I had a negative reaction to the radiation. And when I came in and I asked her for pain medication because I literally could not walk because of what she did to me, she then told me that she never gave me radiation. When I sat in the machine, she stepped out the room, she fitted me for a cast, and she turned the machine on because she had to step out of the room while the machine was on, and lied about it. Lied to my face and told me what she did not do to me. The reason that we have people on the phone and the reason that we are recording y'all and things like that, because you will lie. You will protect yourself, and you have a problem with us protecting ourselves because you all lie. You will lie to protect your license. You will lie to protect your reputation. You will lie to avoid accountability and being sued for malpractice. You will lie. And because majority of the time, a lot of people who are treating us are not Black. They are, most of the time, they are white and non-Black people of color. And all of y'all, I don't care what you say, you have it in the back of your mind that Black people do not feel pain at the same rate as you. So y'all feel emboldened to do whatever you want to do when it comes to Black people and dismiss their pain. Y'all will lie.
So because of situations like these and the historical experience Black people have had and all of the medical trauma, now they have a very big distrust for white doctors. So now when they go to meet a doctor and this doctor turns out to be white, they're like, I'm going to secure my ends and try to make sure that I'm safe because I can't even trust these people to keep me safe. So when they are in the medical room with the doctor is looking at them and trying to diagnose what is wrong and give recommendations and stuff. They have someone with them on the phone securing evidence to make sure that you cannot give me something or recommend something for me and later on come out and lie that you did not do it. You cannot recommend certain treatments or surgeries or whatever, and then later if something happens, you lie, right? Because so now they are like, we can't trust you, but what can we do? We are in this country. You do what you got to do. I would hope that for my sake, you are one of the good ones, but still, I'm going to try and cover my back. Me and my family members and friends are all going to be in that hospital room with you virtually. See if we can't be there, in person, right? And try to make sure that our friends, our family members are safe and make sure that I'm safe. So that's basically what Black people do and why Black people, have on the phone with them someone else while they are seeing a doctor. I don't think he did not know the answer to that question. I don't think he did not know why his black patients did that, why they have on the phone someone else while he's attending to them. I think he knew. I think the reason why he made this video was because he just want to put black people out there in a certain light. Say these people are weird. Why do they do this? There's something wrong with these people. I don't think this was genuine. And I know my African American brothers and sisters who watched this already knew this, right? So this is not me even, trying to say I'm educating them because, they educated me. What I'm doing here right now, bringing this little info here, is for my African brothers and sisters that I know watch me so they can understand what's going on, right? It's a sick world that we live in, and sick things have been happening to our people for years. And I believe that as a people, we should know about our individual experiences, because not only does it help us understand ourselves better, but also having knowledge of these experiences also shows us just how similar we are as a people and how we share similar experiences, because the same thing happened on the continent as well. On the continent as well, we've had, terrible run-ins with these people when it comes to the medical spheres of things, right? Like, they came down here, injected African people with AIDS. So I've made a video on this before. If you missed that video and you want to check it out, it's linked down below in the description. So that's just one example, right? Another example would be how they also down here were actively working to sterilize men and women on the continent, to make them infertile so they can't have children. And they have been doing things like this on the continent for years, right? So because I'm aware of these histories myself, I too have a very big distrust for them folks. I won't even lie. But yeah, Doc got dragged massively for this video. He even came out with an apology video. Check it out.
African American people are currently and have historically been mistreated and endangered by the American medical system. I posed a question to the internet yesterday about an observation that I had made as an emergency medicine doctor, that a disproportionate amount of my African American patients were on their cell phones during medical encounters. And I thought I knew the answer, but I asked why. And there were a lot of people that were upset that I would talk about this on social media, and they were upset that I wasn't talking directly to my patients about it to get the answer. And I 100% get that. I should absolutely be doing more in my personal practice, in my immediate environment, to help make the medical environment a safer place for Black people. It was my hope that by making this video, I could reach a lot more people than I can reach in person, and address the fact that there are a lot of people who think that it's rude to be on the phone during a medical encounter. But it was my suspicion that this was rooted in very justified mistrust and fear of the medical system. To everyone that I have triggered and offended, I apologize. It is my genuine goal in life to spread positive ripples throughout the world, and it appears I have missed the mark with this.
So before filming this video, I did not watch his apology video. And even while I was filming the video, I did not watch his apology video because I'm like, ugh, you know how those apology videos usually go now, they are never genuine. And personally, I have found that sometimes they get me even more pissed than the original video that resulted in the apology video being made to begin with. But now I'm editing this video and I could not escape watching his apology video. And see now, this apology video is one of them apology videos that we're just talking about that could get somebody pissed off. Because man admitted in his apology video that he already knew the answer to the question as to why his African American patients are on the phone with someone else while he's with them. So I guess I was right earlier when I said this. I don't think he did not know the answer to that question. I don't think he did not know why his Black patients did that, why they have on the phone someone else while he's attending to them. I think he knew. I think the reason why he made this video was because he just want to put Black people out there in a certain light. Say these people are weird. Why do they do this? There's something wrong with these people. I don't think this was genuine. Because I thought about it. How is it that me, an African in Africa, know the answer to that question, but him, a doctor who has been practicing in America for 10 years, don't know the answer to that question? This apology is nothing but him just trying to make sure that he secure his end and save his license. And another speculation I have is that this man is possibly a racist. That was why he prefaced the original video the way he did.
I have a question, but I'm afraid to ask it because I don't want to be labeled as a racist.
Because he knows in his heart of hearts that what he is about to do is actually a racist thing to do, because he already knew the history of where Black people are coming from and what they have been through at the hands of the medical system, and he knows exactly why they act the way they do. But he feigned ignorance in that video because he wanted to put African American people out there in a weird light and open the doors, I would even say, for other people who are just like him to come and be racist towards them. Genuinely, that's how my brain interpreted all of this.
Would you trust these doctors with your life, considering their college admission standards are lower, and they might even have special classes to pad their grade to make sure they pass, only available to minorities? Now, that's not to say that
you saw a room full of black doctors and your first thought was to question their merit. No facts, just racism and vibes. Meanwhile, the actual literature and numbers suggest that every black person in America should be terrified of seeing a white doctor, especially pregnant black women. Take your glasses off, do a couple Googles, and you'll see that the origin of gynecology in this country was white men experimenting on black enslaved female women. Here's the title of my doctoral dissertation that I'm writing right now. When I see a room full of black doctors, I get happy as hell because this means maybe, just maybe, we'll lose less black lives in the hospital.
People, be safe out there. Do what you got to do when you got to do it, for your protection, for the protection of your friends, family. Because the last thing we need is, had I known, I should have. Make that recording. Secure your end. So I just want to quickly bring this story on here. Brothers and sisters, please be safe out there. At this point, we've come to the end of this video. Do let me know down below in the comment section what your thoughts are. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
All clear. Facility alert. Fire alarm activation. Second floor.
Did you see that? Did you see what he wrote? The whole being canceled thing? That's how you know in his original video that is now deleted, surprise, surprise, that he did not ask that question out of good faith. He didn't ask it, out of concern. He could have taken his two hands, went to Google, and typed in racial biases in the medical field, racial bias of African American patients. He didn't do that. And then he did that whack-ass apology video, which we all know on social media, if you get dragged and your video doesn't go how you want it, the next step is to do your apology tour. He said that he tries to spread positive ripples throughout the world. Sir, what you wanted was to get some good laughs out of that video, and the fact that your comment section was littered with racists. If you were truly sorry, you would have addressed the comments as well. But when you said that whole being canceled, and in the caption, I know you're going to be happy about this, there it is. You're not sorry. He only did that apology video because if his job sees it and sees all these comments and whatnot, they're probably going to put him through some diversity or racial sensitivity training or, whatever, something different. I don't know. But again, in his latest video, the one that I just stitched, his whole caption and what he wrote on top, that just proves that he's not sorry. Instead of hopping off of TikTok and instead of making sarcastic videos about the situation that he caused, he's, just doing nothing. And this has me thinking now. I don't know how long he's been in practice, but how many black patients of his have not received fair treatment because of his implicit racial biases? How many of his African American patients have been dismissed for their pain or anything else? I wonder what his rate is when he prescribes pain medicine for white people as opposed to black people and people of color. I also wonder if he has gotten any complaints through the hospital. As a person who has had severe medical issues since I was about 21, there are a couple of things that I now know and what to do when going to a doctor. Number one, bring somebody with you if you can. Number 2, if you can't bring somebody with you, be on the phone and let the doctor know, hey, I have so-and-so on the phone. They are here as my patient advocate, and if I need them to speak for me, I give them permission to speak for me. When you are at a doctor's office and you come in with a complaint and you feel if that complaint is not being taken seriously, then you could tell the doctor, please notate in my chart that I stated this, this, and this, and that you refuse treatment for this, this, and this. The next step to do is file a quality of care complaint through your insurance company. You can also file a complaint with your state medical board. And lastly, you can also file a complaint or ask to speak to the hospital administrator. And when you do this, even if you do it on the phone, there are states with laws about recording phone calls if the other party is not aware. Try your best to do it in writing via email, so that way you always have a digital trail. Trust me, I've been mistreated by doctors for years now. I kind of know what to do. And it's funny that he is here. He's more concerned with making videos about him being canceled instead of just hopping off TikTok. He needs to hop off of TikTok, read the studies, read the articles, and maybe then he could be a competent doctor, a fair doctor. But the other thing that makes my ass itch is all these white people in the comments saying, we forgive you, or you didn't do anything wrong. First off, it is not your place to forgive him. He's not talking about you. He's talking specifically about his African-American patients. So a lot of these people in the comments need to take a step back and sit the hell down, because this is not about them. And lastly, if he honestly feels that he didn't do anything wrong, he would stand 10 toes down and be like, this was a genuine question, but I did not do anything wrong. He apologized. And people only apologize for 2 reasons. 1, repercussions, and 2, they're genuinely sorry. And when they're genuinely sorry, they do the actions to correct what they did wrong. He's up here still posting on TikTok and trying to be sarcastic.
This comment reads, the question didn't seem sincere. Thank you for this video. Best response yet. He's not sincere. This is not the first time he's done this. This was him at the height of public awareness around the pandemic.
Where did all the bad COPD patients go? I've been an ER doctor for 10 years, and before COVID, pretty regularly, we would have people come in, breathing really hard. They have pursed lips, they're tripoding, they're wheezing, their oxygen levels are low, their carbon dioxide levels are high. And since COVID, I don't really see it that much. Is this the same for you? My running hypothesis is there was a natural selection event and they didn't make it. Or are we just doing a better job of not spreading respiratory illnesses? Or is it a combo?
They were dead. The COPD patients were dead. And he joked about it being a natural selection event. When he got blowback for this, he just said it was all a big joke. He likes to sea lion, particularly with marginalized groups facing potential death in medical settings. It just seems all to be a big joke to him.